Hello, everyone, and welcome to the How to Use Commission Art for Book Commercial panel. I'm Bradley, and I will be the moderator for this panel, and I'm here with three amazing panelists, Makana Yamamoto, Rachel Kitch, and TC Smith. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So first, I will give each panelist a moment to introduce themselves, starting with Makana.
Hi, I'm Makana. I am a science fiction writer. I recently released The Obake Code, which is actually a standalone sequel to my debut novel. My debut novel was Hamajang Luck, and they're both sci-fi, lesbian, cyberpunk, space heists, very nonsense, very shenanigans. And yeah, I think the Obake Code is out now. Hamajang Luck came out in 2024. And yeah, you can find me on socials. All my stuff is available, but I'm really happy to be here at writehive again.
Thank you. Rachel?
Yeah, hi. I'm Rachel Kitch. I am a speculative horror novelist. My debut novel, The Forest Bleeds, comes out this October. It's an Appalachian and Southeast Asian inspired like STEM dark academia book. And in addition to being an author, I also own a business where I do brand and web design for authors as my main clients. So clients have included people like Danielle Jensen, Bridget Kemmerer. So I've gotten to work with a lot of incredible authors on that side as well.
Thank you. And TC.
Hi, I'm TC Smith. I am an epic fantasy author. I've written two books, well, three books technically, but the third one is coming out in September. I am also a freelance artist. I take character commissions. That is my specialty.
All right, thank you. So let's start with the questions. First off, what are the benefits of asking for commissions art for promoting your book? Starting with Rachel.
Yeah, I think people are really visual these days. And so being able to have a piece of artwork that encapsulates either like a pivotal scene from your book or the character dynamics, even just like bringing your characters to life, people gravitate to that very quickly, especially on social media. So when you're trying to promote yourself and promote your book, people are a lot less likely to scroll past something that's very dynamic and unique and they say, oh, those characters look really cool. What is this book about? It's a really good way of funneling attention towards your book, especially when everyone's attention spans are kind of getting shorter and shorter by the day.
Yeah, thanks so much. TC.
I do agree. I think the visuals like of having character art helps a lot of people basically stop and actually look at your work instead of just scrolling past. I think it's also helpful, especially for people who can't might not necessarily be able to picture what certain characters look like in their heads. So having that visual is really nice. Like put a face to the name, essentially. Um, yeah, I think I've also noticed that it is quite a popular form of marketing using commission art in romance because people like to see attractive characters, and you got some very nice custom art of a very attractive character, then they're very likely to stop and actually pay attention.
It's funny how you mentioned that because this other friend of mine also use a lot of computer art for her romance novels. So that's funny. Makana?
Yeah, definitely seconding everything that everyone else has said because it's very eye-catching. People stop, they see it, they're like, "Oh wow, this character is so cool. This character is so attractive. Like I'm so interested." I also think it can be really powerful in setting a vibe or a tone for the book as well. Being able to look at the art and be like, "Wow, okay, this is what." It's sort of similar to like people, you choose a book by its color cover, or you judge a book by its cover of like you have a really striking cover, but you also have really striking artwork to go with it that can really set a tone, set a vibe, and really give people a sense of like, oh, this is the aesthetic or the tone of the book, which I think is very fun as well.
All right. And what are the criteria of a good artist to ask for a commission? TC?
I think the main thing I would talk about is have them having a solid portfolio. So a good artist should have a good number of pieces that they're able to showcase to so other people can get a good idea of what their art style is and what they specialize in drawing. So for me, as a freelance artist, I have my portfolio consists mostly of character art because that is what I'm good at, and that is what I like drawing. With that, though, I would caution everyone to be careful of portfolios that have so many pieces that it kind of gets suspicious. Because especially these days, it's very easy to generate artwork with AI. And if you've got someone who's posting on social media multiple times a day, then that is pretty suspicious.
Yes, indeed. Uh, Makana?
Yes. I think also, in addition to having a strong portfolio, making sure, like going along with what I said, that the vibe is going to be what you're looking for, right? And having the aesthetics match is really important. But I also think beyond that, making sure that there's really clear, like, language in place of the usage of this art. You want to make sure that a lot of artists that do commissions, particularly professionally, will have terms of service and will have a contract and will have those things. So definitely make sure that's in place. So I think that's really important, is to make sure that they're thinking about these things so that problems don't come up later, because you don't want to run into any issues on either end later. So I think having a sense of this person has a strong sense of like, this is what I'm doing, this is what the art is for, is also really important.
Just to add on to the contracts thing, most legitimate like professional artists will have contracts,
Hmm.
but there are so many freelance artists out there that some of them who are legitimate, who are very very good, don't necessarily have them. But that's not like not having a contract isn't a red flag. But
Sure.
if you ask for one, they should generally be willing to provide one.
Yes. Yeah, I know on sites like VGen, at least where I've worked connected with artists, they'll have like the terms of service, so you don't get
Yeah.
like a hard copy contract. You can ask for one, but as long as the terms of service are clear somewhere, I think that's really important.
All right. And Rachel?
Yeah, definitely seconding both having a strong portfolio and also having a very clear terms of service, especially when you sell your book. Character art commissions go from being just for personal use to being commercial commissions. So making sure that the artist is specifying what commercial rights are included with your character artwork. For example, if you can only post it on social media, or if you're allowed to actually print and distribute it. So if you want to use the character art on bookmarks or anything like that, you want to make sure that the artist that you are working with has that all laid out in their terms of service and rights agreements. But also in adding on to the portfolio piece, I write a lot of BIPOC characters. So I want to make sure that the artist is including BIPOC characters in their character art portfolio, because I have run into issues where they have drawn mostly white characters and it's a bit of a struggle getting the BIPOC characters to look the way that I am imagining it, how it would be realistic. So you want to make sure that they're able to draw characters that look like yours as well.
How do you find the best artists that suit the genre and style of your book? Makana?
Kind of going back to what we said about social media being kind of an attention grabbing thing. I follow a lot of artists on social media, just people I've met or worked with or just kind of enjoy their art style. I've accumulated a lot of people that I follow over social media. So a lot of people will post like, "Oh, I have commissions open," or "My friend has commissions open." And so that's kind of one way to look at it. There's also other sites. I mentioned VGen before. There's a lot of people who will post that they have commissions over and open on VGen. But typically, I work with artists who I have followed for a long time or have worked with before. I actually transitioned from using commissioned artwork just for fun and for personal use, and started talking to a lot of the artists that I had already used personal use with, and was like, "Hey, can I get more promotional material? Can we negotiate the rights? Can we do these things?" So I think having a relationship with an artist is really important too. But I kind of built those relationships over social media of finding people whose aesthetic really fit, people who have commissions open. I think you can even search tags on like Blue Sky or Instagram that they'll have commissions open. You can search the hashtag. So that's generally where I find my artists is through social media.
Definitely seconding social media. And what I'll do is because I follow a lot of authors, so if you're following authors with similar books, genre, anything like that, and they post really good character artwork, the first thing I do is see who did the character art. If they're not crediting the artist, then I'll ask directly, like, hey, this looks amazing. Who did this? And that's also a good way of knowing, like, oh, someone I know has worked with this person. They can give me the inside scoop of what it was working with them. And that way, just like a little bit of extra layer of assurance that it went well for someone I know. That's probably how I collect most of my artists is either just like someone, like a friend of a friend, commissioned them and it looked amazing. So I went ahead and commissioned them. Or again, following artists on social media, then your algorithm starts showing you some amazing people. That's how I found a lot of the artists too. They just popped up in like my For You page or something. And immediately I was like, okay, sold, hired, booked. Thank you.
All right. And TC.
I think the other two pretty much covered it. These days, a lot of artists are on social media, freelance artists. That's like their primary platform for marketing themselves. So just hop on. I think these days, not as many artists left on X/Twitter because of the whole thing with Elon Musk and yeah. Um, I think you'll find definitely a lot of good artists on Instagram, Blue Sky. That's where I mostly hang out. But yeah, like the others said, follow artists, follow some authors who have commissioned art, and yeah.
All right. And we talked about this already, but what are ways to avoid a scam for people using stolen? I mean, generative AI. Sorry for that. So, Rachel?
I think a really important thing is checking out the artist's social media page and seeing if they're posting process videos. That is going to be a really big red flag for any sort of AI use if they're not able to show any part of their process, if things go from, concept to finished concept immediately. Not all artists will post like process videos. I think it is becoming a trend specifically to prove that they are not using generative AI in any like form. But especially if like you start working with someone, you should be able to see like the various stages of sketch to flat art to rendering. And so seeing how everything is coming to life step by step, that is probably the best way of seeing it. And then also just being familiar with like the hallmark characteristics of what AI art looks like really like zoom in on people's social media posts, look at things that don't add up in the background, for example. Like that is another like hallmark of AI art is like trees don't line up correctly and branches are weird and like the edges or hands and fingers. Uh, it is unfortunately getting better at duping people, but just taking like a closer eye and seeing if they have their illustration process laid out in any form can really help.
As well as that, I think I mentioned earlier, AI scammers tend to have lots and lots of art posted within a short period of time. If you look at legitimate artists, I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of time that it takes to fully produce a fully rendered piece of art. For me, I have to sketch out a rough outline. I have to clean up the lines, and I have to put in flat color, I have to render it. It takes me several hours. I'm not going to be putting out 10 pieces of art in a single day, fully rendered, like completely finished and polished. So if you have an artist who's claiming to be an artist and they've got 10, 20 pieces of art per day, then I'd be very suspicious of them not really making that themselves. I think the other thing is, I have seen multiple cases of people who have been scammed, who received a sketch from the scammer, and when they asked for adjustments to their sketch, the artist gave them what's basically a completely different sketch. Real artists will never do that. They will not give you a completely different piece of art when you ask for like a small adjustment, like can you get rid of this sword, or can you make her hair look different, or something like that. Like they would change that specific part of the art. They won't give you an entirely different sketch. For me, that is probably the biggest red flag.
Yeah, I think agree with everything that Rachel and TC have said. Really looking at output of how quickly things are, especially like if you're posting multiple pieces of art a day, or if you're commissioning in the process of commissioning someone, if they get you the sketch back like ridiculously, or maybe ridiculously fast, and not just thumbnails, but like sketches or rendering or things like that. If it's going too quickly, like that, like TC said, it takes hours to get these art pieces done. So if it's happening really quickly within the matter of, oftentimes when I commission an artwork, because I'm not the only client, I'll get the sketch or things in a couple of days. It's not unheard of to get it in the same day, but if it's like scale of hours, I think I would be worried about that. So the output, how quickly it's coming, how much art they have on their page, and then yeah, like Rachel said, just kind of becoming familiar with what a AI piece of artwork looks like, because it can't get the details right. So really scrutinizing the artwork, which is unfortunate that you have to do that, but it is kind of a reality right now.
Yeah, thank you. I would say too, personally, that I noticed that helped me to distinguish when it's AI or not is first is consistency in the style of artwork from one artwork to another, or if you just alternate to like completely different style. And the other, I always try to look back from it's really on Instagram to see for how long back the artist started to post. Like if it was, let's say, May 20, okay, that's fine, because it probably has the same style since before the emergence of generative AI. That's some trick I can myself about others. No, for the next question. What was your process to ask an artist for a commission art? I think with TC.
So the process will differ slightly depending on your artist, but there are lots of similarities. I will probably just go over what I do. For me, obviously, someone comes to me with some art, they'll message me with, so like, hey, can you do art of this character or whatever? And we'll probably discuss it a little bit, and we'll finalize the price of the artwork and sign contracts if that's necessary. And then for me personally, I take 50% of payment up front. That like not all artists will do that. So check with your artists. And then after that's paid, I do some sketches. So I'll do some like rough drawings for just to see if this is the pose, or like this is the look they want. And then we'll make some adjustments depending on like how accurate it is. And after the sketch phase is done, that's when typically people would make the remaining payment. And then after that, I'll get to work cleaning up the lines, and I'll do the flat color. And once the flat color is done, you can again make adjustments to the color. to make sure it's as accurate to what you envision as possible. And then after that, I finish it up, I polish it, and it's done.
Yeah, I have a kind of funny story that I used my commissioned artwork with. I had an Illumicrate deal with Hamajang Luck, and they asked for artists or like references for my characters and things like that. And I shared some of the commissioned artwork that I had done for personal use for a while, and they were like, "Great, we'll use this artist, Kels Goshlich, who is incredible. I love them so much." And so I had actually been working with them over several years of just doing these fun little one-offs for personal use, and then we started working together. I have a couple of tarot cards that I do for character art. So we've been doing that. But going along with what TC said, often you'll approach the artist. And with Kells, it was we had an existing I approached Kels to do more formal artwork together. And so I reached out to them. I asked, are you interested? They said yes. We negotiated what our budget was, what would be in what the rights would be, and we decided printing but not selling. So I think it's typically, and TC, you can tell me what you think about this too, but for us, it was like 50% more of a commissioned cost was for printing but not selling. So that was also something we negotiated is like, I'm printing it, but I'm not going to put it in an online shop or anything like that. And then we went into thinking about concepts, thinking I used some of my existing artwork for like my covers and things like that for references. And then, like TC was saying, we went from sketches, and then Kels gave me a couple different sketches, like which one do you like better? And we kind of iterated from there.
Thank you. And Rachel?
Yeah, so for me, if I'm working with like a brand new artist that I haven't worked with before, usually what I'll do is take a look at their portfolio and their price sheet first. So I have a rough idea of what it's going to cost before I go and approach them. Because if I know that they're out of my budget, I'm not going to waste both of our times. And usually what I'll do is I'll make sure I know like the rights that I need beforehand, if this is going to be just for personal use or for commercial use, and then have an idea of the character I want or how many characters I want. And if I want it to be a simple background or a detailed background, these are things that can influence the final price of your commission. So knowing that going in is really helpful. Then once I reach out and we, start to agree to work together, I compile like a reference sheet of everything that could be helpful to the artist for the commission. So I will write the character description out. I will write the outfit for poses. Even like a really stupid stick figure pose can help convey, and it can be great to work with from the artist side. If there's like actors or famous people that might look like my characters, or that's who I imagine, I will include those like face claim references in this like big document. Sometimes I will do like if it's a more detailed scenery background or if there's like weapons or any decoration, I will also include reference photos for them of like this is exactly what I mean. And then if it's like a scene from the book, I will also send them a snippet of the relevant text so that they can understand like this is the scene that I am going for. And so usually that ends up being like a 5 to 6 page like Word document full of like a lot of pictures and like general like character descriptions and things like that, just so that I am giving as much information as possible like out of my head and onto paper so it's communicated easily. And then from there, the process kind of follows how the other two have said, where you get sketches, you select the final one, and then you move through the coloring and rendering process until you have a nice, bright, shiny, beautiful piece of character art.
Actually,
Just
jumping onto that, sorry, TC, you want to go first?
Oh, no, no, you can go.
I was just gonna say something silly that I do with reference documents is I'm a big fan of The Sims. So I'll like make my little guys, my characters in The Sims and be like, this is what they look like. But I'm a little bit of a nerd in that way. But if that sounds fun, The Sims 4 has a free character creator, so you can do that. It's pretty powerful, actually. So The Sims 4 has a free character creator. There's a couple other free character creators out there. Even like pit crews, can be really helpful. I know there's a bunch of pit crews floating around out there. So I think face claims, pit crews, if you're weird like me, The Sims can all be extremely helpful.
I mean, full disclaimer, I have also done this in The Sims. I have made my characters. You put them all in a little household and you play around with
Yes,
them.
yes.
Yeah, it is actually pretty fun. But yeah, I was just gonna add on to all of references because as an artist, we love references. Don't ever think, oh, like maybe this is too many references, or like maybe like they don't need to see all of this. We love references. We would like to see the references. It helps us a heap in terms of conveying exactly what you want on your art. And it's much easier to kind of translate that into a commission piece if you already give us like, this is exactly what this person looks like, or this is exactly what their clothes look like, instead of just going, okay, well, they have black hair and it's in a ponytail.
In what ways have you used commission art?
I have used, so I mentioned the Illumicrate deal actually, and it was very sweet. I don't know where it is right now. I would show you, but it's a kind of a police lineup of my characters in the end papers of the Illumicrate. So my artist had used some of my existing art references and kind of translated it to that. So there's that piece. I've also used them for character cards, just little character cards that have, I mentioned that they're tarot cards. So for the Obake code, the Obake is the magician and her love interest is the chariot. So it's just the little tarot card, the art on the front, and then on the back is all of my information. So it's like a QR code. You can throw together with the art, I threw together the back side with all of my artwork in Canva. So it's just like my social media, my website, my name, stuff like that on the back. And so it's just character cards that I give out to people when I'm at signings or cons or anything. I just give them the card and people are like, "Oh, what's this?" And I'm like, "It's art." And they're like, "This is so cool. Can I have it? I don't have your book." I'm like, "I don't mind. You can have it." And then they might look me up later or they're like, "Oh, I didn't buy your book." I'm like, "Well, just request it from the library. I don't care." So like it's a good way to get people to remember you. So I've been using it for character art, for character cards. I have bookmarks as well. Um, and so I just kind of give those away willy-nilly to let people hold on to them. They can keep the art and then they'll be like, "Oh, Makana, that cool person who gave me this artwork. Maybe I'll look up their book." And that's kind of how I use it.
Yeah, so right now I'm in the process of putting together my pre-order campaign for my debut, The Forest Bleeds. So character art is playing a really big role. I had actually commissioned a series of character headshots for like the main cast, all from the same artist, so they're in the same style. And I turned them into a little sticker sheet. So you can get like have a little sticker of each like character plus some like Mothmen that I drew myself for the Appalachian aspect. But that's like one way that I'm using it. I have like character art prints as part of the pre-order campaign. I also have made like bookmarks and like little goodies to hand out. I put a giant stack of my bookmarks with my character art on the table at StokerCon recently. Really just like fun, eye-catching things that people can grab either in person or it might maybe push the needle a little bit in terms of like, please pre-order my book. You get this like fun exclusive thing plus a signed copy. And then my character art is also littered all over my social media. I use the character art as much as I can in pretty much any social media post, either that or the book cover, just to like hammer it home. Because also it's like you want to get as much as you can out of this character art. So it's not just like posting the character art itself, but like, can you turn this character art into like a graphic, like a quote graphic, for example, or like an interaction between the two, or any sort of like trend that you can jump on Instagram that's going around. So a lot of different ways to use it.
I think the other two have pretty much covered it. I guess I have a little bit more freedom with how I'm able to use my character art because I make my own character art, so I always have full rights to it. But it is very good to I've been mostly using it for marketing posts. So I've got my third book coming out in September, and I'm planning to make a couple of like character art, character portfolios to post on social media. Get everyone reintroduced to all of the characters, and it kind of helps as well for new people who are coming into your work to be like, oh, this character looks really cool, and then you can read about them and you can see what they look like, and it gets them interested in your book, basically.
Are there ways writers underutilize commission art? Starting with Rachel.
So I build a lot of author websites for my job. And I always ask for commissioned character art to put on the website. Because it is a way of making like the books page of your website really stand out and pop. And like then all of the information for your book is in one spot. So somebody who might find you through like organic means, like, and is looking you up to check out like your full backlist or something, they don't have to go like scrolling through your social media to like figure things out. It is all right there on like one purchase page where it's like you've got the cover, the blurb, all of your character art, they know where to buy it. I think a lot of people forget the step of putting it on their author websites can be really helpful. Anything to kind of bring that to life and not just make it look like another like white background, black text kind of vibe. And also, while I'm saying it, like also update your author website in general. Like if your book comes out, change it from pre-order to buy now. But yeah, I think everyone should be putting whatever they've got on their author website as well as their social media, and then crediting the artist on your website as well.
I've seen quite a few, like, especially in the romance genre, people just posting their character art on its own, and being like, hey, like, look at these characters, they're very cool. But I think, as with everything else, I don't really think it works on its own just like that. Like, if you combine it, especially on social media, with other graphics, like I mentioned, I use my art to post like character introductions, then and it can be a lot more effective at drawing your readers in. And like you can use it in a bunch of ways. Like you could put it on a bookmark. You could use it to tease the content that you have coming out. Yeah, get creative with it, basically.
I think this is true in general for authors is we're like, oh, people don't want to hear me talk about my book again. Don't do that. Talk about your book. And I think that's how what I would say is we commission this beautiful art. The artists work so hard on it. We have this lovely these lovely promotional materials. We're like, oh, people don't want to see it again. Like, no, do it. Do it. Post it. And I am a victim of this too. Of like, oh, I posted it yesterday, or I posted it a week ago, or even like I posted it last month. People don't want to see it again. It's like, no, no, no. You gotta put yourself out there. You gotta use what you've got. So, I think if you've invested in this gorgeous artwork, you might as well post it. So I think that's one way that I personally underutilize it is like post it, post it.
The last question for today. What are the clever ways used of book art you have seen? Starting with TC.
So I have a story about this actually. I was at a book festival earlier this year, and one of the authors had a massive banner of one of their characters. I'm pretty sure it was commissioned art. And the only captions on that was Big A hatch dragons. And I mean, yeah, like I was already gonna buy their book, but that's just such a vibe.
trying to think what else. I think the trope graphics are really popular. I think, like Rachel was saying, the really good memes, the writer memes that go around is really important, is really helpful. Trying to think of other things that I've seen. I love the idea of stickers. I've seen people make like little meme stickers from their books of like quotes and jokes and things like that. So I think just fun little like I think it's a way to expand on like your marketing in a way that you can't in other ways of like I can make these funny little memes, I can make these funny little jokes, I can make these cute little stickers and just kind of like expanding your marketing in that fun way. So one of my guys is a little chibi keychain. So like those are super cute of just like doing some fun, goofy, silly things can be really cool. I love to see people's memes on Instagram.
I can't remember who did this, but at one point, as part of a pre-order campaign, the author did like a double-sided print. So on one side was the actual like character art print, and then somehow they had gotten it to print on the backside like peelable, like a sticker sheet. So you could still keep the sticker sheet as like a functional piece of like character art while also having like peeled off all the stickers. I thought that was just like a really clever way of like making sure that like things aren't getting thrown out and like double-sided use, and then you only have to like send one thing. I thought that was really cool. And then I have one friend who will commission like full spread like book cover um character art and then use literally like every single asset from that like full spread. So she'll use like the back cover background for Instagram graphics or like the spine text for Instagram graphics and then like the characters themselves and like remove the background and then change in the backgrounds and things like that. So like kind of trying to cannibalize as much as you can and using every single little detail from the artwork.
All right, thank you all. So that's all for my question for today. So now I will give each panelist time to either give or like a bit of advice or to plug anything they want to plug, starting with Makada.
I think that uh, in terms of advice, I think it's fun to just get kind of creative and goofy and have fun with your marketing. You know, I think that it's okay to be a little self-indulgent sometimes. So if you want to get that really angsty or really hot or really cute or whatever art, I think if you have the means to do it, it's a lot of fun. I really like it. So marketing is hard. Marketing is difficult, so make it fun. Make it fun for you because you're going to be doing a lot of it. So I think that's my advice for commissioned artwork is really, really make sure you're having fun with it. And then as far as plugs, my books are out. You can get Hamajang Luck and Obake Code anywhere that books are sold. They are, like I said, cyberpunk, lesbian, space, heist. It's a lot of fun. You can find me. I'm mostly on Blue Sky, but you can find me on Instagram as well. And it's Makana dash Yama, Makana Yama. You can find me pretty much everywhere there. And yeah, I should have another book coming out soon, which is the third installment of I call it the Heist Lesbians Extended Universe. So there should be a third book coming out soon. And yeah, so I want to thank Right Hive for having me.
Thank you to you as well. Rachel?
Yeah, I think in terms of advice, also don't feel like pressured to get commissioned character art or get like a ton of different pieces. Like you can make one piece of character art go a really long way if you're getting creative and using it. And then people's attention spans are also short. So again, post it every single day. Not everyone's going to see it and they're not going to remember it. So don't feel like you have to overextend your budget or like invest ultra heavily if like that is not something you personally want to do. Me personally, my budget looks like that like Wint drill tweet that's like rent $800, like utilities, scented candles like $3,000. Please help me, my family is dying. That is what my character art budget is at the moment. In terms of plugging, my debut novel, The Forest Bleeds, comes out October 13th. It's an Appalachian and Southeast Asian inspired dark academia horror about a team of PhD students kidnapped by a billionaire and told to heal his leg or die. So if you are into creepy forests, cryptids, lesbians also, and evil white men, you might enjoy my book. And again, thank you to Write Hive for having me.
Thank you. And TC.
I think my advice would be not to feel intimidated by the idea of like getting commission art, if that's something that you want to do. Lots of artists are very friendly. We are a nice bunch, and we love having you as our clients. And as well, like not all artists will charge like very, very expensive pieces. I know some amazing artists who charge like not very much money at all for very, very nice, beautiful pieces. So if you think like, oh, my budget's not high enough for doing commission art, that's not true. There are so many artists out there with so many different price ranges that you will 100% find someone who is within your budget who is willing to do the art for you. As for myself, you can find me at Chief Writes Book on Blue Sky, Instagram mostly. That's where I hang out. I'm also on Threads and Facebook as TC Smith. My epic fantasy trilogy, the third book is Souls of the Dragons, is coming out in September. In the meantime, you can buy book 2 or book 1 or both on my website. Also, I guess like wherever books are sold. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And thank you to panelists. And thank you all for watching this video. If you are live or panelists, will be in the chat to answer any question. Other than that, happy rest of the day and happy birthday.